What's going on, Knicks Nation? Thank you for joining me for another Knicks Nation post-game show on this Tuesday night as your New York Knicks scrape by the Brooklyn Nets by a final score of 99-95. A lot of stuff to get into tonight as your New York Knicks are now 29-16 on the season. They've won 9 straight games against this Brooklyn Nets team. And look, Brooklyn's tanking, rebuilding. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Join the Discord, hop in the voice chat. I'll be taking your calls later on. Subscribe, smash the like button, really helps out the channel. So I really appreciate you guys for doing that. Well, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on? Is there such thing as a bad win? Is there such thing as a bad win? Maybe. Look, I know a win's a win, right? Maybe a win's still a win, and it is. They all count the same. Good, bad, ugly. No matter how you look, it doesn't matter. Look, the Knicks found a way to pull this one out against the Nets, despite looking dead in the water for stretches of this game, by the way. And, hey, let's give a shout-out to Josh Hart, who sealed the deal with a huge rebound. But honestly, for the fourth quarter, it was looking rough. It was looking rough for stretches in that game. And, Knicks just didn't have any legs in that fourth quarter. And, I credit, honestly, Jordi Fernandez, the Nets coach. I don't know what the heck he was doing in the fourth quarter. I thought Jordi Fernandez cost the Nets this game. He had 2 timeouts. He had a timeout where the Knicks looked dead in the water. They couldn't score, and the Nets had all the momentum in the world. Nets bringing the ball up, he calls a timeout. I'm like, okay, thank you for that timeout because the Knicks look dead in the water. Second timeout he had was with 57 seconds left. They had a chance to tie. They're bringing the ball up the court. He calls it to Jordi Fernandez, calls a timeout again. And I'm like, weird timeout structure you have going on there in Brooklyn. And that made the Knicks set their defense. You put in Precious, you put in Deuce McBride, and, they miss. Cam Johnson misses a game, winning 3-point shot, and then Josh Hart grabs the rebound. But I look, that fourth quarter, they were dead in the water, the Knicks. And look, they scored 15 points in that fourth quarter. Nets scored 20. So, but hey, you take the win, you're running with it. It was on a second leg of a back-to-back. And this Rover, appreciate every single one of you guys in here that said some of these comments. You got it done, man. Loud and clear what's going on. A win is a win, but this is not a good win by any means. We were out-rebounded and out-hustled. We had 3 points at the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Don't feel great about this one. Yuri, what's going on? Appreciate you in here. This was good because we need those close out in the clutch, good or bad. Daniel, what's going on? Big Tass says all wins count. All wins count, no matter how they look. Like I said, open up this post game. Is there such thing as a bad win? And hey, El Figgy, another heart attack, Knicks. This was too close for comfort. Darian in the chat says, Coach, what's going on? He's tanking. Man has a job to do. Yeah, Nets are tanking, man. Those timeouts in that fourth quarter were very questionable. I was like, hey, I'll take it, honestly. And it propelled the Knicks to a win, no matter how you look at it. And, we'll go through the box score and the old night. We'll go through the game. First half, I thought, the bench came in and played well. But the second half, it was just they look. Knicks look dead in that fourth quarter, right? So, El Figgy, grateful we don't have a game until Saturday. We need rest. Yes, man, we definitely need rest. Look, Josh Hart with a clutch rebound at the end of that game. It's just, honestly, it's, with Josh Hart with another great game. By the way, let me put up the box score for you guys. Look, Josh Hart only gave you 7 points, but 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, and Josh Hart opened this game on fire. I think he had 4 assists in the first quarter, was, pushing the pace like he always does. And like I said, the Knicks have won 9 straight against these Nets teams, against this next Nets team. This was one of these games where the Knicks just won based on pure talent, right? One of these games where the Knicks just won based on pure talent. And, no matter how you want to look at it, you want to look at it like a win's a win, or do you want to look at it like we still got work to do, even though we have back-to-back wins, back-to-back good wins. Now the guys can rest up, and we still got to hit the gym, and we got work to do in the practice facility. So, look, the thing about this game, right? First half, I thought Deuce came in, played well in the first half. Payne came in, gave you energy in the first half. Precious came in the first half and played well. Once again, in the first half, you had the bench lineup paired with Karl-Anthony Towns that was playing well, extremely well. In the second quarter, that's where the Knicks team scored 35 points in the second quarter. And you're saying to yourself, okay, the bench, you're going to need some fresher legs coming in tonight because it's a back-to-back, and, you need your bench in these types of situations. And I thought in the first half, the Knicks bench played well. Deuce was hitting his shots. You had lineups at Deuce at the 2 with Brunson, with Campaign, like what we've been talking about. And they look good in the first half. Second half, they didn't come in until the fourth quarter, and that fourth quarter was bad. I mean, like Loud and Clear said in the chat, they didn't score. I believe I wrote it down here in the fourth quarter. They scored 3 points in. They started the fourth quarter 1 for 11 with 4 turnovers. The Knicks. So that's not what you want, especially in those fourth quarters. And the thing is, this Knicks team is one of the best second quarter teams in the NBA. But the fourth quarter, they've kind of been letting go on the rope a little bit. You had a great fourth against the Hawks. Again, it's a back-to-back. That matters. But Mikal in his return to Brooklyn, 3 of 12, couldn't hit anything. Great game against Atlanta. Tonight, not so much, right? So it's OG Anunoby, 20 points. You love to see him hit the 20-point mark. 2 assists, 3 steals. Had a great block in the game in the second half. 4 rebounds. But with OG Anunoby, it just seems like he right now he doesn't really have a touch around the rim. Everything is awkward with him. He's losing the ball a lot around the rim, and he just doesn't have that, touch around the rim. And he looks at times like the corner threes for OG Anunoby that he was splashing, 2 of 6 from 3 tonight. He looks tired, man. Like he's tired out there, man. And it has caught up to OG Anunoby. He has hit a wall, and I like the minutes he gave you against the Hawks. I like the minutes tonight, especially defensively. And you love to see him at that 20-point mark, but you could tell out there he just methodical. The touch around the rim just isn't there for him. So, oh man, nostalgic. What's going on? Appreciate you in here. Appreciate you guys in here. Smash the like button, guys. Let's get these likes up. 6 likes. Let's get these likes up. Appreciate you guys in here, always supporting. Mike says, I like Thibs, but he can be very annoying to watch. The bench gave the team a lead in the second quarter, and Thibs barely played them in the second half. Mike, again, Thibs didn't go to his bench. He put in Deuce in that. I think it was like 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. He put in Deuce. Campaign didn't come into the game until I think there was like 30 seconds left in the third quarter, and that's where Campaign came in the game and he fouled. He gave up a foul right away. So, yeah, the substitution patterns today, he could have played his bench a little bit more. I thought Campaign 9 minutes. He doesn't really play in the second half. That's a trend, right? And 3 assists for Payne. But I thought in that first half, guys, McBride looked good. And McBride looked really good in that first half. And unfortunately, he couldn't, it couldn't happen again in the second half. But I thought that's something to build on. And Precious with a corner three, too. Shout out to Precious, man. Shout out to Precious. Yo, Alpha says not a great win, but I still take the W. Look, ugly win, man. Ugly win. The Nets are 14-30 on the season, and it's honestly got really dicey there in the fourth quarter. And Jalen Brunson hit some clutch shots in that fourth quarter to kind of extend the Knicks' lead, and you kind of gave yourself some breathing room. And then you were like, okay, JB. JB had 9 points up until, I want to say, 6 or 7 minutes left in that fourth quarter. And I looked this up mid-game. The last time Jalen Brunson scored single digits in his scoring output was last season in November. So it's been a while. He finished with 17 and 4, but 7 of 18, Anunoby 8 of 18, Bridges 3 of 12. Karl Anthony Towns really was dominating this game, and I haven't brought him up yet, but I thought Nets couldn't stop him. Karl Anthony Towns was eating in the paint. Hook shot was there. Rebounds were there. 5 offensive rebounds tonight. Karl Anthony Towns looked great. 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. In a back-to-back where he's dealing with that thumb injury, you see it affecting his shot a little bit, but Cat, I really thought, was honestly propelling this Knicks team when they needed anything tonight. And Cat was just awesome tonight. And, if Cat didn't play tonight, I really think the Knicks would have lost. Like, it was that bad all around in terms of scoring outputs. But Cat, I thought, propelled this Knicks team to a win, got it done, and you're 9 straight against this Nets team. You always love to hear that at the end of the day, right? 42 rebounds, 29 assists as a team, one more to get to 30. 11 steals as a team. You love to see that. Only 10 turnovers for the Knicks. But the Nets, 12 of 40 from 3, man. If they would have just hit more of their threes, they would have won this game, man, honestly. And, D'Angelo Russell, had a timely 3 in that fourth quarter. Cam Johnson was off tonight, guarded by OG Anunoby, who was locking him up. Love to see that. And Nick Claxton didn't really do anything. Clowney, I thought, got away with a lot of offensive goaltending around the rim. But all in all, guys, you got it done. You got it done. What's going on, Nostalgic? Dibs going to ride his starters. Michael says Jordy elite. Dibs is not. Jordy looked very nice opposed to Dibs running Brunson isos. Michael, Brunson was just off tonight. I mean, it's weird because he's like an 83% free throw shooter, and you wouldn't think that. Again today he missed. How many free throws did Brunson miss tonight? 2 free throws, and his shot was just off. And he had such a great game against the Hawks. It's like, I know it's a back-to-back, but he was off. And, inconsistency, right? El Figgy, someone in the office has to talk some sense into Dibs. Jalen knocked knees and was hobbling at the end. OG looks gassed. Cat's shots are hitting the front of the rim. El Figgy says, I can't. Cat's shot is off right now because of his thumb, El Figgy. Brunson had a great game yesterday, just off today. Mikal, great game yesterday, off today. And Anunoby seems like he looks shot. He looks shot. Like super tired. But in the midst of all that, 20 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 4 boards. And, if anyone needs the All-Star break, it is OG Anunoby. And I say that, and the All-Star break isn't until like another 3 weeks, another 3.5 weeks. But Knicks don't play until I think Saturday. They have some days off here to get right. And I'm sure they're probably going to take a couple of days to recover because they've been playing a lot lately. They've been playing a lot. Today was a back-to-back. So hopefully out of this little break that they have, they could regroup, refresh, because this upcoming stretch, I'll pull up the schedule in a second, but this upcoming stretch is tough. Michael says Cat needs the ball down the stretch. Enough with this Brunson hero ball. Yeah, Brunson made 2 big shots down the stretch for this team today. Didn't have it all game, but when it mattered, Brunson showed up and he made 2 big shots down the stretch. And you're sitting there like, finally, JB looks like he's getting to a rhythm, banged his knee on a layup. And like I said, Jordy Fernandez, those 2 timeouts in the fourth quarter, don't know why he called them, questionable. But the second one got the Knicks to set their defense. You got in Deuce, you got in Precious. The first one allowed the Knicks to regroup and, catch a breather. So, shout out to Jordy. Can't keep playing Josh and OG these kinds of minutes. We're over the halfway mark. We're getting good minutes with Cat, Precious, and McBride and Precious. Nick Yak. Yeah, what's going on, Nick Yak? We won the points in the paint. Yeah, the thing I loved about this game, guys, is second quarter. 35 points from this Knicks team. And like I said, the bench lineup with Karl-Anthony Towns, Precious, Payne, Deuce, and Shamet was awesome in that second quarter. I know Shamet didn't score. Plus minus plus 10. No points, no assists, no rebounds, no steals. You even had Mikal Bridges kind of be mixed into that bench lineup. But I love it. I love it. You're starting to see Deuce McBride play more with Jalen Brunson as well. Little things I'm starting to notice. You're starting to see McBride play more with JB. He's playing well with the bench unit. And he only attempted 6 shots tonight. Was awesome in that second quarter. And everyone was awesome in that second quarter. Everyone. And, kind of recap the game. Knicks started off hot in this game in the first quarter. Nets came back, and pretty much all game it was like, it was you didn't really have a rhythm to this game. Like you're sitting there watching, and you're like, Cat is doing his thing, playing absolutely incredible. Deuce had the bench had that great second half, but third quarter it's like, Nets just kept hanging around, and the Knicks were allowing it, and the Knicks just were missing open shots. Bridges was missing a lot of open shots today. And, when you don't hit your shots, you're not going to win too many games, right? And 46% from the field, 28% from 3 as a team. So you still won despite shooting 28% from 3 as a team. And even versus the Hawks, I don't even think you cracked 40% from 3. 34% from 3. So back-to-back games, less than 35%, you pull out some victories. So you're winning despite shooting poorly again. And it's, you take it. A win's a win. Right? It's one thing if I would have come on here and they would have lost this game, I probably would have been speechless for the first 5 minutes of this postgame. Probably. But you got it done. You got it done. That's all that we care about. You got it done. You're 29-16. You're 15-8. Heard the Deuce chants. Heard the Jalen Brunson MVP chants. We travel. Mikal Bridges didn't get booed. Seems like no fans. I mean, Brooklyn, but Mikal didn't. 3 shots tonight for Mikal. So with 10 points, 2 steals, 2 assists. So you missed a lot of open looks today. And you still were able to pull out a victory. Mike says, I think Cat should get the surgery, maybe a 4-6 recovery rehab. His shot is clearly off. Look, if Cat wants to play through this thumb injury, Mike, he's going to play. And, I saw that a lot of some fans were like, why won't he just get the surgery and be back 4-6 weeks? But, if he can play through it, it's a pain tolerance thing. If he can play through it, you play through it. But today, 0 for 4. 0 for 3 from 3. But the beauty of Karl-Anthony Towns is he dominates the game in other areas. Low post. He even attempted some mid-range stuff today. And, rebounding, elite. Assists were elite. 3 steals even for Karl Anthony Towns with his father sitting baseline and his wife. I think he's married to Jordan Woods. Or not. I could be wrong. But they were sitting baseline. So, Cat can affect the game in many different areas. His 3-point shot is just a luxury. Look, he's shooting 42% from 3. That has probably dipped a little bit in these past couple of games, but he was due for some regression in that area. And he's out there. He got a rewrap during the game, his thumb. So he's out there battling. And, that's all you want, man. These guys battling. Because you looked at the schedule and you got through this back-to-back stretch, right? You don't play till Saturday. That's 3 days off. And let me tell you guys, 3 days off in the NBA, it feels like a lifetime. It feels like a lifetime. Tomorrow, they're probably not going to do anything. Probably going to come in, get treatment, go home. Because coming off a back-to-back, you got to get treatment, go home. Thursday, they'll probably do a light practice, maybe even take another day off. Friday, you'll probably practice until you got Sacramento coming. So if any team needs this break, I think it's the Knicks. 3 days off is huge, especially for this team, especially for OG. Especially for OG Anunoby. So, big. Yuri says, Cat say he's playing through it. Tony, what's going on? Appreciate you in here, Tony. Knicks win 99-95. They are now 29-16 on the season. Anunoby with 20 points, 3 steals. Great block. Towns with 25-16. Hart, 7 points, 9 assists, and none other than the game-sealing rebound at the end. Josh Hart has a sense for the basketball. He just gravitates to the basketball. When Cam Johnson missed that 3 and when the ball popped up in the air, and it felt like it was up there for like 10 minutes, you see Hart just tracking the ball, grabbing the rebound with the awareness not to step out of bounds and calling a timeout. Amazing player, man. Amazing player. Mike, what's going on? Appreciate you in here, Mike. Good win. This is exactly the type of win you'd expect on a back-to-back, but Thibs has to find a way to get Josh and OG more rest. Again, maybe more Jericho Sims. Mike, what's going on? Appreciate you in here. Yeah, look, it was a back-to-back for this team. Brooklyn, they actually have some good wins on the docket. They almost beat the Lakers in LA. They're a scrappy bunch. And you really credit the coaching staff to, getting as much as possible with the amount of talent they have, getting out, getting the guys to play extremely hard. And, they got some good young players over there in Brooklyn. Obviously, they're tanking, but Tyrese Martin came in, did his thing, 3 of 6 off the bench. But D'Angelo Russell, timely shot in the 4th. Cam Johnson, 2 of 9. But yeah, second half, again, Thibs, after a game where he had great substitution patterns, I thought, today was okay. Precious 18 minutes, Payne 9, Shamet 6. And Thibodeau and the Knicks know the upcoming schedule, right? So you needed this win. As long as you got the win, everyone seems like they came out healthy. The guys got 3 days off to heal up. So, not really concerned on that front. Mikal, 34 minutes. So one thing I've noticed, Mike, is Mikal played less than 30 minutes yesterday. 34 minutes today. Maybe someone got to Tom Thibodeau about Mikal Bridges, about his minutes, that they need to come down. He can't keep playing all these minutes. And that's one thing I've noticed is that Mikal Bridges, back-to-back games where the Knicks have kind of monitored his minutes, right? So, whoa, what am I doing? 27 minutes, 34 minutes from Mikal. Baby steps. Baby steps. 39 versus Minnesota. It's baby steps. Yuri says, at the end of the day, I consider this a good win. Look, a win's a win, man. They all count the same. They all count the same. You move on. You live to see another day. Yeah, you learn. You move on. But, there's still things to work on, right? There's still things to work on. Look, 29-16. You're still in a great spot in the Eastern Conference with guys banged up, right? Cat banged up. Anunoby banged up. Bridges, a lot of minutes now. So I really want to see how this Knicks team reacts out of this three-day off layaway, like layover. And if they come out, they're probably going to come out hot on Saturday, like guns a blazing, and that's what you hope, because it just looks like they're a bunch of they're a tired group, right? It just looks like they're a tired group. In that fourth quarter, that's why their rating is so poor in the fourth quarter, because it just seems like the guys just don't have any legs to, compete. And today they pushed through. Brunson with some clutch shots, and the defense on the other end was solid too in the fourth. Brooklyn wasn't, doing themselves any favors in the fourth. So, but you got it done. You got it done. Tony says, I'm going to the game Saturday. I'll be wearing my Kolek jersey. Free Tyler Kolek. Tony, hope you enjoy yourself in the game. So at the game, excuse me, someone in the Discord is currently posting bets right now. I gotta kick this guy. Hold on, excuse me. I hate when people come in the Discord and try to post their bet slips. All right. He's gone. Tony says, I think Mitch will be traded before we see him hit the floor for us. Yuri says, do we have any news on Mitchell Robinson? No, but it's the same thing regarding Mitchell Robinson, guys. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Seems like an early February return, and they're really hoping that he can come back in the beginning of February. I kind of gave my prediction that hopefully he comes back, let's see, versus the Laker game maybe in February. But, it's more of the same. He's working behind the scenes, and we just, look, imminent, right? Imminent. We just hope to see him on the court soon, right? Nick Yak, all 450 players in the league are good, can all go off. Every matchup could end up a tough game. Yeah. Mike says, yes, Shaman could have had played 10 and Josh 35, 4 extra minutes. That's all. You don't have to hit those 10 threes. 10 threes, just run up, play defense, and get Josh some rest. Nostalgic says Mitch getting traded. Yeah. I think Tom Thibodeau looked at this one and said, look, we got 3 days off. Let's win this damn game and get out of here. Let's win this damn game and get out of here. Because if you look at this Knicks upcoming schedule, guys, we'll go through it now. It's tough. It's really tough. So you got through Atlanta and Brooklyn. So you got through the gauntlet, right? We came on the podcast. We said OKC to Atlanta. 3-3, 4-2 at best. Well, they were 3-3. Not terrible. Not terrible. Still good. 500. And Brooklyn, you chalked up as a dub, and they got it done, right? You're 29-16, you got it done. Now you got 3 days off to kind of recover, reset. You come out Saturday versus Sacramento, versus Memphis, versus Denver, versus the Lakers, versus Houston. That's tough, man. That's a tough stretch, because all 5 of those teams, and I don't know, the Lakers are not really playing well, but they're still the Lakers, right? All 5 of those teams are pretty good. What's Sacramento's record? 22-20. They're hovering over 500, but they've been playing better since they fired their coach. So if there's any team that needs a rest before this stretch, it's the Knicks. And I'm just happy that they're getting 3 days off, 3 full days off before we get another home stretch too. Just take advantage of home cooking. And we just have to get it done in Madison Square Garden. Then you got Boston a day after the trading deadline. 2 days after, February 8th. Trading deadline is February 6th. And you got Toronto after this stretch versus Boston, at Indiana versus Atlanta again, Chicago, Cleveland. So at Boston, Philly's terrible. Memphis, Miami's about to trade Butler, Golden State. So, Worry about who's on the docket next, and that's Sacramento. And, honestly, you should beat Sacramento at home. You should. You should. Tony says Knicks starters need a vacation. They do, man. And look, watching OG Anunoby, the thing about OG Anunoby is that in the beginning of the season, his threes were like his corner threes were, seems like every time he caught the basketball and shot, they were going in. Now, when he catches and shoots, you're like you don't know. And his field goal percentages have taken a dip. And his touch around the rim just isn't where he needs it to be. Dribbling just isn't where it needs it to be. But like I said, I personally chalk that up to just him. He looks exhausted out there, honestly. Like I said in the pod, OG Anunoby has never played every single game up to this point in his career. The only time he played every single game up to this point was in his rookie season. I shouldn't say he never played up to this all these games up to this point. So, how many games have the Knicks played? 45. So they played 45 games, and Anunoby hasn't done that since his rookie season. He's healthy. He's out there. That's all that matters, right? He's still contributing defensively, although it may look awkward at times. His numbers have dipped, but he needs a break, and you got one this week. You got a mini break. So, Nick Yak. We have, after the All-Star break, 9 more games, and Mitch is back. The schedule is brutal after the break. After the All-Star break, huh? It's brutal. So you got... When is the All-Star break? Oh, okay. Chicago, Cleveland, Boston. Right out the All-Star break. Chicago seems like they've kind of gotten your number this year. Cleveland is Cleveland. Boston is Boston. Philly stinks. Memphis, Miami, Golden State, Lakers. We're getting into the March. I don't want to look too far, but which is why this 9-game winning streak early on in the season was so important for this team, and which is why wins like today matter. Because I call this an ugly win. I call this a bad win, but no win is a bad win. Right? I shouldn't call it a bad win. No win is a bad win. You got it done. They all count the same. You move on. You're only one more game until 30 wins. And honestly, in this stretch, I really want this Knicks team to, 5-game homestand coming up, 3-2. Just give us 3-2, right? 3-2, 4-1 would be amazing. But if we go into this 5-game stretch, 3-2, we're okay with it. Obviously, we have to see how it looks, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with 3-2. 4-1 would be absolutely incredible. 5-0 would be insane. Hey now, 5-0. But let's be realistic and look, 3-2. You should beat Sacramento, and Memphis is tough, but Sacramento, Memphis, Lakers, you should beat them. And then the other two, 6-man, home crowd. Hopefully will propel us to a win. So 3-2. Just give me over this next five games. Mike says that's the bittersweet thing about All-Star Weekend. You want your stars to be all-stars, but I honestly don't want Cat and Brunson to play. I just want them to rest. Mike, you're totally correct. I mean, All-Star Weekend is great for JB. All-Star Weekend is great for Karl-Anthony Towns. Amazing, accomplishment for them. But they don't really. That's why the players take the All-Star game off, right? I mean, that's why the NBA is trying different ways to kind of get the players engaged in the game, because players don't want to get hurt. They just want to shoot half-court threes and play no defense. At the end of the day, they just need rest, right? You don't want your player to get hurt in a meaningless game. So I understand your concern. I really don't want them to play, but they're going to play. They're not going to be, they're not going to push it to like 100%. I mean, they're going to play at like 10% speed. But hey, if Cat goes into the All-Star game with the banged up thumb, he can just be like, hey, like, I'm not going to play because of my thumb injury. He can say that. And, Josh Hart was even quoted saying that, I want to kick my feet up in the sand. Like, I don't want any part of the All-Star festivities. I don't want to travel. Where's the All-Star game this year? Someone tell me in the chat, where's the All-Star game this year? Is it in LA? I don't want to go wherever. I just want to go take a vacation because it's a long season. And that's why I said these 3 days off that this Knicks team has, it's like a mini vacay, honestly. And you don't travel, right? The guys are probably hopping in their car, going back to their home right now. The beauty of having Brooklyn right there. So they don't hop in a plane until February 4th, right? So that matters. That matters. Appreciate you guys in here, 33 people. Most of you have subscribed, but if you haven't done so already, come join us in the chat. Subscribe to the channel. Watching Philly, Denver now. Philly don't play no defense as well. Philly stinks, Nick Yak. I mean, they have a pick to worry about. I think their pick is top 6 protected. Otherwise, it goes to OKC. That would be crazy if OKC was the pick in the top 6 after the season they're having, right? So trades are happening, right? You just saw Phoenix and Utah make a trade. Phoenix traded their highly touted 2031 first-round pick. And in return, they got multiple first-round picks because that pick is so valuable. So a couple of weeks, trading deadline is, we'll see where Jimmy Butler goes. If the Knicks make a trade, if they stand pat, we shall see. But, yeah. El Figgy says, how effective will Mitch really be? He had to have that ankle opened up twice within 6 months. Let's be cautiously optimistic. El Figgy, it's a great question. Something I think about. We want Mitchell Robinson to come back. We want him to be Mitchell Robinson. But at the end of the day, we don't know what Mitchell Robinson is going to be when he comes back. Last time he came back, I remember his first game was against the Raptors last year. He looked like Mitchell Robinson. Like they were playing him in spurts, blocking shots. And hopefully when he's back, that's what you need. That's what you want. That's what you want to see from Mitch. But it's a big question mark on top of Mitchell Robinson's head. We don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. But the beauty is the upside is tremendous. You can pair him with Cat. You can start him. Elite defense around the rim. Elite shot blocker, elite pick and roll player, elite finisher, and elite rebounder. And when you plug that in, it's kind of like a trade acquisition, right? They're probably looking at it like that. We get Mitchell Robinson, there is our trade acquisition. That is a trade we made, a healthy Mitchell Robinson. So it's a good question, though. But the downside is he comes back and doesn't look like Mitch, But, that's why a lot of fans up to this point wanted to see Huck Porty get consistent minutes just in case that was to happen. But this front office has shown us that they are not afraid to pull the trigger at the trading deadline. And if they think they need one more piece, couple more pieces, it will be hard to do with the Knicks being in the first apron. But if they think they need one or two more pieces, if they think they can get it done, they will. They are basura. Philadelphia stinks, man. Are they losing again? Philly stinks. Philly stinks. You love it. The big bad Philadelphia 76ers, the team that won this summer. The team that they said that was going to be better than the Knicks. That's all I heard. That's all we heard all summer. Come on now. You could be Philly. Right now, you're 29-16 in a good spot in the East. Tony says, I would be curious what the Knicks do at the deadline. Yeah, look. They have to really get creative. Don't want to get into the second apron. I think it depends on the health of Mitchell Robinson. I do. But they have to kind of, protect themselves, right? Let's say Mitch comes back, worst case scenario, he comes back, not the same. He's dealing with the same thing. You don't want that, knock on wood. But let's say that happens. You got to protect yourself. So Bucks are behind the Knicks. Look, we're third in the East, 29-16, 2 games behind the Boston Celtics, and we got them coming up in February. In a good spot, Milwaukee is 3 games behind you, and you own that tiebreaker. Pacers have been playing well. They have the best record in the NBA in the new year. They've been playing better. Hawks are the Hawks. Hawks seem like they're the darling team of the NBA. They're 22-20. The way people talk about the Hawks, I don't get why they don't talk about the Knicks that way, but hey, it's neither here or there. Detroit's playing well. Orlando, guys, Orlando has really dropped the ball here, man. Paolo coming back. Orlando has dipped all the way. Remember, Orlando was what the 3rd seed or the 2? They were the 3rd seed, and they've dipped all the way to 8. And then we got to watch what Miami does with Butler, Chicago, Philly. Nick Yaks, I hate, loud and clear, I hate the 76ers so much, man. Everyone does. I don't know how this has turned into a hate Philly segment, but, sign me up. Anytime we can, say what's actually going on in Philly. Look, they're 15-26. You could be them, but you're not, man. You're in a great spot, honestly, despite everything. And, if you were to look back at the beginning of the season, no pressures for the first 21 games of the season, right? People forget that. No pressures. Jericho had to step up. Deuce has been in and out the lineup. Tibbs' rotations haven't been up to par. Shamit hasn't been here. He's just starting to get in the flow of things. Cat has been awesome. Mikal has been good for the most part. Brunson has been great. And Anunoby just seems like he's tired out there and just needs a break. And, when you look back at things, you're 29-16. You're 2 games from the 2 seed. And you could be in a much worse spot than what this Knicks team is currently. And that's why today's win is, there's some things to work on, but it's a win. It's a win. Joel, what's going on? Why do the Knicks always play close games with the Nets? I feel like the NBA Cup game against the Nets set the tone for the series. It has been very competitive. 3-0 against this Nets team. 9 straight. And it's a fascinating turnaround because I think they won 8 straight before our 9-game winning streak. So it really hasn't been a back and forth affair. It's kind of been one team just dominating the battle. I think they've won 8 or 9 straight against us. Then we've turned it around and won 9 straight against them. And yeah, that game versus Brooklyn, the one you're talking about early on in the season where Mikal had the game-sealing block and Brunson had the 3 to kind of win the game over the 3-and-D defender that they traded to the Lakers. Sorry, I'm very forgetful with names. But that game kind of like propelled the Knicks into like a nice little streak after that one. And look, it's the NBA, man. These guys are in the NBA for a reason. Like, there's no scrubs. Are the Knicks more talented? Yes. But on any given night, anyone can get got. And that's the beauty of this league, right? That's the beauty of this league. And, credit to the Nets team. But Jordy Fernandez, I feel like tanked the game for them at the end of the 4th quarter. And, we got the win. We got the win. Trade deadline news. Jericho Sims and Pacom Daddy for Cam Whitmore. Just an idea. Will Tom Thibodeau play Cam Whitmore, Mike? And I kind of like the Pat Home Daddy thing is so weird to me because he's been in a lot of rumors and we just haven't seen him on the court. He's like this unknown 19-year-old player that seems like he has like a great, bits of upside. I mean, he has skills. And it's one thing if we've been seeing him, but I kind of just want to see him. Right? I kind of just want to see him play. And, I know you could have drafted Ryan Dunn, who the Knicks were touting, and he's playing extremely well in Phoenix. I know it had to do with the salary cap. Daddy A took less money, therefore the Knicks drafted him. But he's been in a lot of rumors lately as kind of like a throw-in. So do the Knicks give up on him? And we've only seen him like 3 or 4 games as a 19-year-old. I don't know. If the package is right, Mike, I say you got to look into it. If the package is right, you got to look into it. So, but did you just draft him to trade him? Like, did he sign all the guaranteed money just to trade him? Or did you draft him to develop him? He's 19. Like, he's not 22, 23. He's not Kolek. Like, what's Kolek's 22, 23? He's an old rookie, like they like to call. But I've even seen Tyler Kolek in some trade rumors. And I honestly don't know. Like, February 6th would be a fascinating day. I'll be live streaming for pretty much most of that day, just live reacting about, trades, and hopefully something goes down or if the Knicks make a trade before then. But it'll be a fascinating day. Jets fan here. I hate football. Hey, you guys are about to get a good coach, hopefully. Mitch is the longest tenured Knick. That means something to this franchise and should mean something to us fans. Let's give the man his respect and his revenge story. Yeah, I mean, I think loud and clear this is his last shot. I do. And I think he's going to come back with, a vengeance. He's going to come back strong. He's lean. I do think this is kind of like, if it's the same song and dance, yeah, you already have fans over him. Some fans are over Mitch. So you already have that. But I think if that happens again, then it's night-night. Like, it's this summer you're looking to trade him and you're looking to improve, right? If it happens again. So, yeah, Daddy A, 19, he was not for this year. That's another thing. Like, he was not for this year. He didn't want to go overseas and become a project, but, from the time he has played, I know he's been spinning spurts. He's looked okay. But, I get it. Kolek can start on a team lacking a true point guard. He will be great or has the talent to. Daddy, you're talking about Nick Yak? Yeah. Look, Thibodeau just doesn't play them. And, it's more than a half a season in. So the playing time for them, it just seems like they're going to ride the bench until, who knows? If someone gets hurt, those guys will step in and take, take those minutes. But Thibs is set on his rotation. It's Shamit's in there. It's really, waiting for Mitch. Then does he go a steady 9-man, steady 10-man rotation when Mitch comes back? But he's set on his rotation, and it's just let's go from there. If you can improve at the deadline, you do it. If not, you trust in you guys and you believe this is our team. Let's rock. Let's rock and roll. Mike says, I think the Knicks are quietly developing a pipeline. I can see Kolek replacing Payne, Toppin replacing Achua, and Packham replacing Shamit. Mike, great point. I can see Kolek replacing Payne. I love that you said they're creating a pipeline because that's what you want just in case a deal was to come about. If you have to involve Precious, if you have to involve Mitch, Porty can step up, and Kolek can step up. I don't think Payne is going anywhere, by the way. He's on a 1-year deal. It kind of would make no sense to trade him, considering he's actually been like okay for the first 45 games. And I don't think he's going anywhere, but they're creating a pipeline. Like, it's a depth chart. And the guys are, obviously, they're practicing with the starters behind the scenes. They're playing in the G League. They're developing. And one thing this Knicks team has shown us is you got to trust them. They developed some young players throughout the years that, no one thought were going to turn into the players they are today. I mean, you got Emmanuel Quickly. Obi Toppin's even playing well. So Quentin freaking Grimes is balling out in Dallas. Our Quentin Grimes, who I've wanted to, blossom here in New York, is playing well in Dallas. All those guys are from the Knicks system, right? All of those guys. So that gives you faith. That gives you hope that, Daddy A, Porty, Kolek can, replicate that, right? And I think they can. I do. Knicks draft well in the later half of the first round. Second round, they found some gems as well, right? Mitch was a second-round pick. So you got to trust them. Mike says, I just hope we develop Daddy A and don't just give up if they aren't going to get something in return, guaranteed return. I love Daddy A. I want to see him more. I absolutely want to see him with the bench with Kolek. Yeah, Mike, I trust that they're, doing right by pack home Daddy. Missed average 64 games a year before last year, his first 5, and that includes broken toe in year 5, 30 games. Coach, not to change the subject, but Kel Ware is a monster. I told y'all this will happen. We are going to have to face him and Bam in the playoffs. Another reason why we need Mitch. Khalil Ware was also a guy that I wanted the Knicks to look at. Obviously, he got drafted before. I think he got drafted before they could pick to Miami. And we'll be okay. I'm not worried about Khalil Ware right now, Coach Shear. But, that's why, draft picks are, you got to hit on them, right? If you miss, it sets you back if you miss, especially teams that are in the aprons. You got to hit on your picks. Tony says we should have kept Quickly and Grimes and Obi Toppin. Tony, without them, we wouldn't have OG. Grimes, without Grimes, you don't make the Bogdanovich trade, and without Bogdanovich, you don't get Mikal Bridges. So it's a domino effect, Tony. But I get it. Those guys are playing well. Obi, it's funny. Those guys would be great off the bench right now, right? If you were to give this Knicks team Obi and a Quickly off this bench right now with this group, it's watch out. But guys, appreciate you guys joining me. Big win, got it done. Got 3 days off here to rest, and we just have to, take these days, rest up, rest the body, and just go from there. Subscribe. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. As always, it's Let's Go Knicks. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.